to start with just some introductions, go around the room, introduce ourselves, and I guess one thing you're looking forward to regarding summer. So my name's Dylan. I live on 83rd West Side. I'm a secretary for the Neighborhood Association. And I'm really looking forward to swimming in the rivers again. For the weather.
I'm Ron. I live 93rd in Hawthorne. Board member at large. Just do whatever, whenever that needs to be done. Try to pick up the slack. And I'm looking forward to the summer and getting out and riding my quads a little more. If the fire danger will stay down.
I'm David Only. I'm at 81st and Burnside. Board member at large as well. I've pretty much done a lot of the communications for some teachers, the yard signs, stuff. Just stuff, whatever needs to be done to protect their stuff. And I'm looking forward really taking my puppy out. It's her first year. She's smart enough and behaved enough. And we had a great summer.
Dylan didn't mention there is hot water for tea bags back there. There's hot coffee around the corner. There's some cake and what else back there. That covers it.
Yeah, and one other important note, if you live in Montebello and haven't signed in yet, please do. And if you're not a current MNA member, it makes you a member. Because all you have to do is live in the neighborhood and come to meetings. So if you're at that 3-year mark.
You have
Yes.
to say yes.
Oh yes, and say yes to people. And that's it.
Good. So my name is Ben Carr. I'm an architect, and I'm here to talk about Rocket Empire Machine. It's a project that we're working on 70th and Gleason. Coincidentally, I'm on the board of the current neighborhood association, so I like how these things work, and I like talking to the neighborhood and being involved with the neighborhood. And I'm just really excited to tell you guys about this project and what we're doing with the building.
I'm Trey, 70th and Oregon. Yeah, excited for a couple of weeks.
Jim Robinson, 70th Pacific, and all I'm carrying. That's a good story.
We're retired, so every day's summer to us.
My name is Alex Linsker with the Collective Agency. It's co-working spaces with Cozy Community, and we're moving into 7819 Southeast Stark July 1st. Excited for that. And also excited for bicycling and beaches.
So you're going to co-present us?
Go to, yeah.
So you're doing a co-present project too? So maybe you can have a co-present.
This is co-working, but
Oh, co-working. Oh. I heard. Yes.
I'm Claire. I bought a place with the help of, actually, Liza here, who also lives in the neighborhood, about a year ago on 77th, just south of Halsey. I've been building out a patio at our new place and looking forward to being done with it and actually enjoying it this summer.
I'm Liza Stillard. I live on 91st and Hoyt, and I've lived in Montebello for almost 9 years, and a lot of my clients tend to land here too, so I kind of wanted to see what this is about, because I love Montebello.
What kind of work do you do?
I'm a real estate broker.
That's expensive.
I'm Ray Dean, and I live on 83rd and Gleason. And I look forward to the fresh fruit that comes in the summertime.
My name is Gert. I live on 80th and Ash, parking lot. And I'm also looking forward to the food. I was going to say blueberries.
My name is Gar. I live right up the street here at 305 Northeast 80th Avenue. I'm a water protector, so activists protect water. And thank you. And I go along with Deep Radine on the looking forward to fresh fruit and vegetables from the local farmers market every Sunday morning. So it's a must go to. Great food.
My name is Lou Scholl. I'm a former board member of the Neighborhood Association. I'm a retired civil engineer. And currently, I enjoy just doing handyman work with business I started out with, so for, not really, but it's one thing to do. I live on 91st and Hoyt, just right across the street from Liza.
I'm Jane, I live on 92nd and Salmon. I used to be a board member also.
Yeah.
With Lou actually, for a year. I'm looking forward to getting out and doing some more hiking this summer.
My name's Robin. I live at 92nd and Salmon, and I'm just I'm ready to get on my bike a little bit more. So that's my plan. And I'm really excited to hear about the project. So thanks for coming today.
We have a couple of left.
Hi everyone, my name is Mills. I live in Buckland, but I am the Montreal neighborhood liaison for Southeast Upland. I am looking forward to some weekend trips to the coast.
Hi, I'm Heather Coleman Cox. I'm a guest of David's, and I'm representing Juneteenth Oregon, a 501c3 non-profit public charity.
Thank you for coming.
Hi, my name's Andrew Wilkins. I sadly no longer live in Montebello, but I'm still recording the meetings and cover neighborhood journalism at villageportland.com.
Thanks for coming.
Yeah, thanks.
You're our witness. And thank you everyone for coming out today. Ben, would you like to go ahead and take this one? Sure. I think it's a little bit of the, we'll pass those around.
Yeah, maybe one for each table.
Yeah, there you go.
So as I mentioned, the building is an existing building on 70th and Gleason. It was built in 1949 originally. It was a Texaco station. It's made out of metal panels, and it was added on to in 1999, where there was this sort of addition on the front part, which was actually originally the filling tanks. They enclosed it, and it's been used most recently for auto parts. And I'm sure somebody here probably knows the previous owner, but it was called Rocket Empire Machine. And we love that name so much that we're keeping it as the name of the building moving forward. The idea here is to take the existing building, do a seismic retrofit, so we're going to strengthen the building for earth-based camping, and renovate it into 4 micro restaurants, 1 bar, and a whole bunch of seating. So there's a bunch of outdoor seating based along Gleason, a whole bunch of landscaping, which is shown in this model very well, and then some indoor seating too, because we are in Northwest. The different food tenants, you can see on the plans there, but there's once again this model, there's a couple of food tenants that are going to have these kitchens in the back. So the way it's going to work is that you'll order food from these places and then take it to the indoor seating or outdoor seating. And there's also a bar where you can get a drink while you're eating. So the reason I'm here today is partially to check in with the Neighborhood Association, tell you where we're at. We presented to the Land Use Board about a year ago with Anna McKay, who was the developer on this project with Guerrilla Development. Unfortunately, she couldn't make it tonight, but I want to tell you that we've gotten the city to approve our building permit. We've picked a contractor, signed a contract, and we've started work. So we're replacing the roof right now because the roof is in sad state of repair. And we're going to start working on the rest of the thing. There's one requirement that the city has along commercial streets like Gleason that's been kind of a sticking point for us. And the way we've laid this thing out, we have a little restaurant tenant that we're building along Gleason here. It's a really small space. It's about 180 square feet. This is going to be most likely a juice bar or something like that. Something where it's pretty small stuff, maybe a breakfast sandwich place. We don't have a tenant signed up for that yet. And if anybody knows any tenants that are looking for a small food space, get in touch with me because I'd love to connect you with the developer. Anyway, any tenant that's facing along a commercial street like Gleason is required to have their own street-facing main entrance. This is in the zoning code. These other tenants are far enough away from the street that they don't require it. We're building those doors in anyway because it's the right thing to do. But the way you get to all of these spaces is by going up into this shared patio. And we think that's the proper front entrance of the building. It makes the most sense. That's how people are going to use it. That's where people are going to be. And we've tried that argument with the city of Portland to say there's no point in adding a second door to this tenant that faces Gleason because it's so small. Why don't we just use the door that's 5 feet away from Gleason? It doesn't actually face Gleason. But they've told us that's not a good enough argument. You have to get an adjustment, which basically you go to the planning and zoning people of the city and say, here's why we want to do it our way. You know, we think it's just as good. What I would like to get from the Montville Neighborhood Association is just a letter of support saying that you don't think not having a street-facing door for this tenant is going to detract at all from your neighborhood. What we're trying to do here is create a strong commercial street, and the idea of these street-facing doors is to create a presence on the street, and we're going to have that. We're going to have sliding windows here along the street that will be, giving you a direct view into that space. The idea of having a second door to get to a tenant that's just behind that wall, we can build it like that, but it limits the amount of square footage in an already small tenant space. The size of that space is pretty limited by the fact that there's an existing wall here that we're trying to maintain. And adding this entry door basically reduces it by almost 25% square footage. Sure.
Where's the sidewalk in relationship?
So this is the sidewalk along Gleason here. And we're adding some street trees. We're rebuilding all these sidewalks as part of the.
I guess my question is, the sidewalk back up to the building?
Yes.
Okay, how far away is the curb? Where you're
12
going to have
feet.
car traffic? I've got a reason for what I'm going
Sure.
to a particular place with it. Yeah. How far away from the building is the curb where you're going to have cars traveling at 20 or 25 miles an hour, whatever?
Right. 12 feet. 12 feet to the curb.
Okay. To me personally, I think where you're wanting to put the door is safer for the people entering and leaving that particular part of the building than having one come out the street where they're heading right straight out toward traffic.
Right, I completely agree, yeah.
And this is one of the goals of the code that they're trying to get the bus to change through the project to drive pedestrian traffic.
Exactly.
Whereas the entire design of that, to me, is in the spirit of the goal of that requirement, in that it looks like, there's seating right there.
Yeah.
You're going to want to just walk, 80% is going to want to walk in.
Exactly. And this is not,
the spirit of it.
We're doing that all voluntarily, and that's all because it's the right thing to do, it's the right design to make, it's the right design move to make. If you guys have been to the Zippers or other projects in 28th and Sandy, it's a really similar model to this, except that was new construction, or the Ocean on 24th and Gleason.
Oh, yeah, sure. Yeah, and so everybody else is similar to voice their opinion on it. My opinion would be if I was going to be even going in the building, I think it would be in my benefit to have the door enter into the court.
Yeah.
I mean, why are you going to have people go back on the street then come into the court?
Exactly. Right.
Put in two doors. Or one door right out into the court.
But again, having two doors, it limits, the door itself is going to take up some square footage, and it's already such a small space.
But you have a choice. Either go into the court. That would be the thing I'd want to do. I wouldn't want people to go back out into the street and walk away from it.
Right.
I'd want them, you're giving them an opportunity to do that.
Yeah, exactly. The idea here is that you're going to buy food at this establishment and then eat it on the premises, eat in that courtyard, eat in the indoor seating. All the bathrooms are shared for the whole building, and they're all in this. There's 2 bathrooms here and 2 bathrooms in the rear. We're putting a little addition, but yeah, all the shared services are inside. You have to go into that patio to get to those shared services. So this is just the most logical way to do it.
Well, one other thing is the requirement to go to the street is an egress safety thing, which you don't have a safety issue that I see it there with the way you've got it set up.
Yeah.
Because it's, the requirement to have a street access to it is for an emergency exit or, getting out if there's some kind of emergency. And I don't see a door there in that corner going out to the street helps that at all.
Right.
Well, I want to add one more thing out as a previous plans reviewer. The building obviously is not an incentive for more people, so that you require 2 doors.
Correct. It's not going to be. It's not assembly use. There's not going to be. There's no life safety issues with this model. I mean, what I've I've run this by our plant examiner at City of Portland, and from a life safety and fire standpoint, it's completely meets code. It's just that there's this one zoning section about required transit street facing doors. Like I said, if we could move this existing wall back another foot, then this wouldn't be an issue because we'd be we'd be 10 feet past this property line. But it's this weird, we're so close, we're 9 feet away, but if we were 10 feet away, it would work, but then we have to dig up the footings underneath the building and move the whole thing, which is just prohibitive at this point.
Okay, but you'll figure it out.
Well, having lived in the neighborhood will help a lot. It's something I'm doing because I know that this helps the process with the planners. We're not required to, but I would greatly appreciate it. I think it would help the planners realize that this is something the neighborhood supports, and that we're bringing 4 new food tenants and a new bar to this building, and renovating this parking lot, which is currently not so great looking.
Right. Oh, I'm looking forward to opening up. Are there underground tanks?
They are not underground tanks yet. They were already remediated. Yeah. But yeah, there's a lot of history of the building because it's really interesting actually to see the old drawings from the Mexico station. Pretty cool. Yeah.
Was it always called the Rocket Empire Mission?
I think for about the last 20 years, but before that, I'm not sure.
It just seems like so. It's not like an area.
Yeah.
Maybe industrial area.
One thing I wanted to mention too, another update is that we've gotten 3 tenants with handshake deals. I mean, it's not quite a lease, but we're far enough along, and I've built up enough of a relationship that I feel like I'm comfortable telling you what some of the food's going to be. One of them is an Italian restaurant. The other one is going to be South American based. I'm not sure which country, but it's something that we found from the Hacienda, from the Portland Mercado. And the third tenant we have locked in is something we have a program called a non-displacement credit, and it's basically internally subsidized. The developer has found a way to find money to earmark for this tenant to give them a subsidized rent so that they can stay in the neighborhood. This is somebody that had a halal restaurant for many years. It was called Ali Amin, Kadra Abi, is the chef, and they're going to have this middle space, and it's part of what we're trying to do here is to be listening to people that are in the neighborhood and including a tenant that already has a reputation in mind, or at least that there's people that like their food for 15 years. So they're going to be one of our tenants too. And the bar is going to be a group that has done a couple of different bars, including Pay Dirt and Old Mills and Tough Rock. They're 3 of their bars. So, yeah. Any other questions about the development or timeline?
So you said all of the tenants are established now?
Well, the one we're still looking for is the south tenant, this one that's going to be facing along Gleason. So the ones at the back in the bar are all handshake or spoken for, yeah. But this tenant in the front is about, if we get this adjustment granted and we don't have to add this door, it'll be about 180 square feet. It's a pretty tight space, but it'd be perfect for if it's a smoothie or juice bar, or even a small bakery, or anybody that has a commissary kitchen somewhere else, or even a small sandwich shop. All of those people.
Sorry, how many are taken? There's one left?
There's one left. Yeah.
How many are taken?
4.
4, okay.
3 restaurants and 1 bar. Okay.
It seems like with the closing of the 10th Avenue place downtown, the food cart.
Oh yeah.
The food cart, people that want to move up to brick and mortar.
Yeah.
Come out of the wall.
Exactly. That's one of our tenants is exactly that. Not from the one on Alder, but somebody from the Mercado. Sorry, what's that?
Oh, from the Mercado.
Yeah. And it's a great model for somebody that has a food cart because you have the shared cost of bathrooms, the grease trap, the seating, all of that is covered under this sort of house lease. So you don't have to build out your own space and lose all that square footage. So yeah, that's definitely the kind of people we're looking for. Yeah.
So what is it?
Early 2020. That's when we will be finished. We just started construction. We're anticipating hopefully a 6-month build out. So yeah, probably realistically be around January of 2020. Just in time for winter.
Yeah.
But there's indoor seating.
Is there anybody that has an objection to this, to what they're wanting, the change that they're wanting to propose to the city? To have the side door rather than one steady. They'd lack 1 foot of being within code to not have that street side door. Is there anybody that has a problem with that?
Can you repeat the question?
Well, yeah, I guess if anybody has any issues with this, what I'm trying to see here with the adjustment.
They're asking for a letter of recommendation from
Yeah.
the,
Okay, I just couldn't hear it.
oh,
We
I'm
just
sorry.
did what you
I
said.
usually talk so loud that, talk over equipment that,
We have the fans.
yeah.
Um,
Yeah, I just
I
want to know
would
if
say
anybody had any objection to the change that they're asking the city or the exemption they're asking the city
no
for.
objections. Here.
What is this building right here?
So that is a building that is it's the same team, it's the same developer and architect. It's a 2-story new construction building, and that is where the current parking lot is of the existing building. So that's on the corner of 70th and Basin. It's a separate project, and I didn't bring a model of that, but because we're not seeking any adjustments for that or any changes to the code. But it's going to be a 2-story building. The ground floor will have a retail space, and there will also be a large living room and dining area for the second floor, which is the second floor is a co-housing. It's co-housing, so there's 10 rooms or 10 beds. It's co-housing. Yeah, so it's a type of living where you have individual rooms, but you share bathrooms and kitchens.
Oh, 20 rooms?
I think it's 10. I don't know the number off the top of my head. Yeah, it's Julian's second cousin. Right. Correct.
They built one, they built one, like, I forget which name.
Yeah, on 28th and Gladstone. Yeah, we're just under construction with the first one, which is called Julian's first cousin. It's the same concept, same developer model, and this is the second one, and there will be a third and fourth. We don't know anymore, but yeah.
So Ron, were you looking to get a vote from the room, or?
Just wanted consensus so that those of us on the board, I guess what it comes down to, we have to vote on yea and nay. Want a consensus from you folks that tells us what direction to go.
Couple questions. Was are the developments going on at the same time, or are they built out separately by contractors?
They are separate contractors. It's the same development team, but it's a separate loan for each one. So they aren't really tied to each other. They don't really depend on each other in terms of progress, but they're starting. They're both starting at the same time. Julian's second cousin's going to take longer to build. It's a new construction, which is they're building. It'll probably take more than 9 months to a year. And we think Black Empire will be more than 6 months. So yeah, they'll be under construction at the same time, and we're trying to do as much overlap as we can. The sidewalks will all get done at the same time, so it's minimally disruptive. But yeah, it'll take a little longer to do the construction.
And do you know anyone signed up for the retail space? Or is that
I don't think anybody is. Yeah, I'm sure they'd be happy to talk to anybody that's interested. Yeah. And I know this developer does have a lot of retail space, at least in Kearns and all over the east side. We've got different projects going on.
And then last question, on some of your other buildings, or I guess gorillas, there's full bright art and things like that. Is there any talk of that?
There will be on the 70th side. You can see on this one. On the 70th side of the second cousin, which is the east side, there will be a large mural on the second floor above the retail glass. And then in our project, or on this project, this is actually going to be a sign. We're still working on the particulars, but we have a sort of a line item for giant sign. And, so it's really important to sort of celebrate the name and to give it some identity and placemaking. So yeah, but this will be, there will be some kind of artistic signage there. And then maybe some little blade signs for each tenant, so you can see what the different food options are. We're gonna redo the metal siding. Right now it's got brick siding, which is sort of falling off. We're gonna take all that off and replace it with metal siding, which will be a much better way to protect the metal panels that actually hold the building up. And then the new part of the front is going to be most likely also metal siding maybe Woodside, we're still kind of figuring out what that's going to look like. But it's a very small area. And these are all, like I said, these are all large glass doors, French doors open out with patio. We've got a pair of garage doors open into the bar. So this whole thing's going to feel really open. On a day like today, it'll all just feel wide open. Be a great place to hang out.
So as far as one of the things you mentioned about this kind of being for food parks kind of for this good next level, have you found that this design, I'm assuming you've done work and this sort of thing, has a higher success rate for restaurants staying in business?
We've had very little turnover with our tenants. It's been like at the Zipper, there's been very little turnover, and at the Ocean as well. It seems to be a very successful model because it's pretty low overhead for these tenants, and there's just inevitably, if you go up with anything more than 2 people, even with 2 people, it seems like you have options this way, and having accommodate. The big improvement was having a large combination of indoor and outdoor seating, having the flexibility, and having a bartender on site. Those are all really important things. But yeah, it seems to be a pretty successful thing.
They have shared kitchens.
Or individual kitchens. Yeah, kitchens are a little harder to share. Dish pits, there's a lot of, everybody's got their own way to do things. So each kitchen will have its own dishwasher, but they will share a grease trap, and they'll share some services. They'll share some cleaning services.
And that's good news to hear, because the Stark Street over here probably started developing about 13, 15 years ago, and a lot of great businesses came and went. Simply because the cost of running space and
yeah. But these are relatively small spaces.
We're established now. It's good to hear that.
Each kitchen is only about 275 square feet, and the tenants are paying a share of the common space, but it's really not that much square footage. So it keeps the bar eventually pretty low, and the pressure is not so high as if you had your own space with its own bathroom.
Just wanted to congratulate you because it looks like a really well thought out design. And that part of Gleason is needed. Good attracting development for a long time. So any possible objections from the city, I think should be overwhelmed by the benefit that you're providing.
Thank you. Yeah, we feel the same way. Yeah, it's a great old building. It's worth keeping. It's a great site.
Any last questions for Ben?
Parking.
It will not be on-site vehicle park.
It will all be on the street.
That's right.
It will be typical of that area and up and down this day.
Yeah. I mean, we could have put 5, maybe like 4 parking stalls in that patio, but then where's your
Then you use the patio.
Right. And that's having people out there, and I think we're going to have some shade canopies and some trees. They're not in this model, but there are going to be a couple of Japanese maples right in the middle here. It's going to be a great outdoor seating area, and we thought that was more important than parking. There is going to be ample bike parking.
That was my next question. The city farmers are pushing everybody for even mass transit or bicycles.
Yeah.
Or pedestrians. Yeah. No, I think this is great.
One more question. Jog my mind about parking. What about the 12 or 14 residents that are on the second floor of the neighborhood building? I know it's not part of your development, but
Yeah.
there's going to be 12 more cars there.
There may be. The people that are going to most likely be living there, I'm not sure if they were owning cars, they might not be living in co-housing. A lot of the time we're seeing that people that are moving into these things are biking or at least taking mass transit. It's often a slightly lower income bracket. Or people that are choosing. I mean, this is right on the bus line too. But yeah, that's they're I'm sure at least one of them's going to have a car.
But the one thing parking for the
No, yeah, it's so small and it's right on the bus line. The city doesn't trigger requirements until you get about 30 minutes there. And yeah, like I said, I don't anticipate there's going to be a whole lot of added on-street parking demand because of the requirements. There might be people going out to dinner that will raise some parking constraints, but yeah. also, I want to add that right now, the corner is almost entirely curb cut for the existing business. And as part of this rebuilding the sidewalk, we're going to add 8 or so on-street parking spaces, which are currently driveways, which will help. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Ben.
Sure. Yeah. Thank you.
So we're gonna transition into membership Q&A. Maybe some quick announcements. I was thinking, so we've had some feedback that often it might be hard to learn about meetings, or people are looking for ways in which the neighborhood association can kind of get the word out better. And we wanted to open up the neighborhood to let us know, like, how did you hear about this, or did it take you a long time to hear about this? What are effective ways to get out to the community? And like, what kind of media outreach would you like to see? Is it
Or non-media.
or non-media outreach? Maybe you don't want to get Facebook invites or Twitter blasts. I don't do much of it, so I don't do any of the social media outreach, but
I haven't seen the irony in you saying it.
yeah, oh yeah. But so just open it up, and also if you have any general feedback for the neighborhood association, we'd love to hear it. We just want to take like the last 10 or 15 minutes of the meeting to do that.
Yeah, one thing, your website, I think, currently says that community development Grace Baptist Church.
That was published, that I updated that, but
Okay.
yeah, I did say that.
Excited.
I don't know how that got on.
Okay, that's gonna be nice.
Yeah, it has been changed. That was,
Yeah, I updated it because someone had mentioned it to me.
yeah.
So I just, the MNA emailed the contact form right on the page, so I just feel like that seems familiar. And I'm like, yeah,
Did
it
you
is.
ever have meetings over there?
No. Also, actually, David just mentioned a great way to get a hold of us. On the emails, there's a contact us, and please, if you notice things like that, tell us.
And there's also just a quick form on the site. You don't even have to give us your email. It's just a feedback, and we don't have really any requirements on it.
Yeah, we do read those. It just gets emailed to us through the website, and so yeah, it's certainly valuable.
Yeah, so I heard about this through word of mouth, but I also noticed in the southeast Examiner, like sometimes neighborhood association updates and such.
Yeah.
I was wondering if maybe that might be a good way to get the word out. If you're interested in that, you can update about what the last meeting was about. You can see that and notice that this neighborhood typically does not what's the case in it.
Yeah, we did have someone from the board that was doing that. They had to step down. So, as a side note, we're also looking for volunteers if anyone's passionate about media outreach or anything along those lines. Like, love to have you talk to us. Yeah.
So I'm just gonna mention that, when I was on the board, the thing that seemed to be most effective as far as getting people to come was the yard signs. But it also takes a certain amount of effort to get people to put those yard signs out in their yards. Roger Warren used to shift a bunch of them around to his various neighbors and say, "Hey, we can put this in your yard." But I don't see any yard signs anymore, and I understand you have some, but are they available right now?
They are available right there, right there.
Yeah, that's actually a great segue.
And I'd like to take your question.
It was the same thing that we used to see yard signs.
Yeah, and that's one of the things that I felt is like we're kind of between where we are doing outreach to current members, but not outreach to people who don't normally hear from us. And I agree with the yard size were one of the ways to do that. But also one of the things from last year's cleanup event when I was trying to do the outreach for that, like all of those are they're hidden behind a bathroom. Where we used to be able to put flyers on phone poles, and there would be
1973. You know, it's the same booklet. But you just don't see those anymore. Where those used to be like places where your community could go. And the digital channels are so generationally split. I think that there's the Facebook, there's the Twitter, and we're on those, but not consistently. I'd say Facebook's still the strongest, but it's not really the most engaging group, right? And so it's a challenge to us. Like, where would you go and see something about us to show up? Or if you have a busy intersection, let us know. We'll put one of those yard signs out there.
Are the yard signs available for people to take home today?
Yeah.
Okay.
If you have a great location, because we only have 50, so it just sounds like a lot, but it's a good neighborhood.
Just for the election, we got a deal with the Academy Theater to have an ad up with them. So I don't know if there's like more regular out. Lots of people go there locally.
Other tracks.
Yeah, has the neighborhood association done that before? Advertise at the academy?
The election, so.
Okay.
But not like an ongoing. I mean, that's obviously paid, so it's not quite, it's not talking about printing a few flyers up, but they might be able to look in terms of nonprofit and also.
And the timing of the cleanup event which occurs before the last meeting where you could register, right? We could do like show up at this neighborhood association meeting to register as a member, to vote for the elections, and also come to the spring cleanup or fall cleanup. Yeah.
I'm not necessarily on Nextdoor that much, but I know there's like a kind of like a section of people that are on Nextdoor that might not necessarily be on Facebook. And I used to try to post the events on there too, just to get it like on the calendar. And you might capture somebody's eye that's not seeing it.
Yeah, that's just that there are so many digital channels out there. Now
That's how I heard
the
about
audience
this
is-
was next door.
Oh, but you didn't put anything on that, Robin.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe signs by the schools too,
Yeah, that's a good idea.
signs on 92nd, Westville, Harrison, putting some signs, people go there, playgrounds.
Yeah, maybe engage with the PTA.
Yeah.
Those are all good ideas.
That's great.
Yeah, thank you.
And then Moose?
I think Facebook, Nextdoor, email newsletter are all great, but again, the problem with that is that it's only people that are often famous for those things, which are usually folks that are already engaged in the neighborhood system. I have found that with some of the other neighborhoods, there is still a lot of value in print newsletters that get sent out and either dropped off in your mailbox or on your front porch. And neighborhoods help mitigate those costs by actually selling ad space for businesses in their newsletters. There's a few neighborhoods in the southeast area that do that, and they're paying for those printing and mailing costs just to sell the ad space. So it's a huge effort to coordinate, but I think it really works, and it literally goes to every house.
There's enough going on here to fill up a newsletter. If anyone is interested in helping us coordinate that.
Something like a postcard with, it's not quite the same, but we have.
I think that would work if you're just trying to get people out to maybe like the elections or something, and you want to send out a postcard or a flyer or something meeting. But in general, most neighborhoods do like a quarterly newsletter. It's usually just a couple of pages, and it seems to do really well.
Hey, has anyone ever used the post office's digital marketing where you can define, like you can say, it's the boundaries of Montebello,
Yes.
and you don't need every address in Montebello. They will just deliver to, just do like a postcard, because I think part of the problem is there's no awareness that we exist. Right?
Yeah.
Just one other idea, I wonder if we could work with MECA and the city of some of the businesses, you know what MECA is?
Private business.
Newspaper, whatever.
Yeah.
Do they already have
Business
it?
Association.
Do they already have a
If we get some
newsletter?
of the businesses, they meet, if we could get some of the businesses to put signs up also.
Okay.
On Scout. I don't know. Just
Yeah, that's a good idea. Do you know if they have a letter that goes out already?
Why?
Oh, but I was wondering if I had space. I'm like, let's do it.
logo.
By their ads, maybe.
Yeah.
That's a good idea.
Cool. All right. Well, I think we can wrap up a little bit. Sorry. Paint the Town Green update. Kelly couldn't make it today. She had to work, but there was an event for Paint the Town Green. It was sponsored by Kink and Neighborhood Association. I guess just to relay the word, it went really well. They had about 20 volunteers. We picked up trash up and down 82nd and into the neighborhoods a bit. I guess, yeah, it was better attendance than they could have hoped for, and it went great. Yeah. Unfortunately, she wasn't able to make it to get the details, but just thought I'd let everyone know.
Thank her for it too.
Yeah, I like sneaker t-shirt.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's hot. Close a little bit.
And also, if you want t-shirts, we have them now too.
Oh yeah.
This is their debut along with the yard signs.
Then
If you
yard signs
donate, it means we can print more. Oh, that's good. That's an internet.
So, how many board members are there and
That's 4.
four?
Brad couldn't make it tonight. Our fearless
You don't want to come
president.
back?
Jay and Brad?
But we could definitely, yeah, Brad can make it.
But yeah, we are also open invitation, or like, we have a post on the website that's asking for board members. Basically, if you're interested at all, just talk to us. We did ask that if you'd like to join. I think we have 3 really simple questions. Are like, why do you want to be on the board? Here's another one. What do you hope to do for the community? And
Your background.
yeah, do you have any experience in something like this? So if you are interested, feel free to either talk to us directly, or if you'd like, just submit an email.
It's an interesting way to start getting involved with your local community as well as learning a bit about city politics too. So, as dry as that may sound, it's actually pretty interesting.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for coming, everyone. We are going to have a board meeting after this, and you're all welcome to stick around.
Yes, we have Heather from Juneteenth who's coming to request some support for us, which we invited her to come and appreciate her for 45 years of hosting the Juneteenth celebration here in Oregon, which has always been in Portland. It's always been in North Portland, right?
Yeah, North Portland.
And the founder's granddaughter now is the person who runs it. So it has a good legacy. So we'd like to support it as well. There's flyers for it here on the table. And we hope you'll be volunteering, showing up, donating if you can. I'll be there next weekend, so volunteering. So come on out.
And we have like a busy street or something. Yeah, feel free to grab a sign.
And the goal here was, since we do things on a yearly basis, just a quick note about the design, is it does have that kind of ubiquitous second Monday, last Saturday in October, second Monday, or last Saturday in September, which we have the cleanup event, but also links to the site, links to the cleanup event. We have a standing page for the parade if anybody wants to join us in the Avenue of Roses parade, so you can let us know you're around and we'll contact you a couple weeks before the parade. So that come along with us. So this is it. I just have probably like 8 or 9 times. So if you're interested and live in a high pedestrian area, pick one up. Yeah. Thank you. Thanks.
Alright guys, we're going to go ahead and start the board meeting. Yeah, everyone's welcome to stay.
So when you guys get going?
Let's start by approving last week's agenda.
I will make a motion to approve the last week's. Are we approving the agenda or the last minutes?
Sorry, minutes. Minutes.
I know that we approve the minutes.
I second that motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
Actually, approve the agenda that comes before the meetings and our agendas, so.
That's okay.
Okay, so I would like to add, Heather's presentation, or sort of report from us, to the top of our agenda. After this.
Seconded.
All in favor?
Alright,
When
I'm up.
I was down at, this for you guys, when I was down at, Southeast Uplift today, there's a big box of signs about that size, yellow signs. And this has been take a picture and email it out to us, those signs, the Montebello Neighborhood Association signs. But I didn't take
Those from the
look at
cleanup?
them. Huh?
We had those big yellow ones from cleanup.
I don't think they're just a cleanup sign.
They were yellow, but I had put, anyway, we'll talk
But
about it.
anyway, yeah.
Yeah, I think I
They're
know,
there.
yeah, I did them.
David,
Yeah, thank you for coming.
thank you for having us.
And hopefully we'll make this quick and informative. And I'd like to introduce yourself to Dylan and Mike.
Billy, or Dylan?
Dylan.
Okay. Dylan, I am Cox, and I am with Juneteenth Oregon. We are a 501c3 nonprofit public charity, and we have been in operation since 1945. Our founder, Ms. Clara Peoples, she started the event of Juneteenth in the shipyards, down at the shipyards in 1972 where she worked. And she simply just did like a luncheon around that time in June. And Dylan, do you know what Juneteenth is? Do you know what Juneteenth is?
David gave me a little bit of a run.
Just a little bit of background that David gave me.
Okay. So what happened, just some U.S. history involved in this, of course. As we all know, President Abraham Lincoln is the president that abolished slavery. His famous Gettysburg Address in October of 1862 in Pennsylvania, he revealed the Emancipation Proclamation, which was to take place January 1st, 1863, which abolished slavery in America. So this date rolls around, January 1st of 1863, and slaves are set free across the country except for in Texas, in Galveston, Texas. So for an additional 2.5 years, Texas kept their slaves in bondage and slavery until President Johnson was dispatched General George Granger of the United States Army in 1865 to Galveston to read the proclamation to the remaining over 50,000 people in slavery that they were free. And it took him 2 weeks to cover that area because, there was no Facebook, no email, no Instagram. So, it took him 2 weeks to go through that entire island. Galveston was actually on an island, and let everyone know that they were free. And this happened, he arrived in Galveston on June 19, 1865, 2.5 years after slavery was abolished, and informed that region that, hey, you gotta come in compliance with the rest of the country. And so that's why we celebrate Juneteenth, the abolition of slavery. And here in Oregon, as I stated, we've been celebrating since '72, and it is our goal to get down to the waterfront. We endeavor to have at least a 2-day, probably start off with 1 day, but a 2-day weekend celebration on the waterfront. It's going to be really tough because there's Pride this month, there's the Grand Floral Parade, so there's a lot of events that happen in June in Portland, but we're still, maybe we only can do 1 day, but we definitely want to take this event down to the waterfront and just have the whole city, state come out and celebrate with us. And we It will take support from people and organizations like you all. And we thank you for any donation, any volunteering. David's he's a jack of a lot of trades, and he may help us with some of our graphics. You know, things that we have to pay people to do, and we have volunteers that helps us. So, and that is basically who we are. And we also started a Miss Juneteenth pageant. This is the second year that we started this. We award first year we awarded one team a $1,000 scholarship for college. This year we awarded a mini Miss Juneteenth, like age from 10 to 7.
So you've been added more.
Yeah, because it got real popular, and so it's becoming real popular. Next year we think it's going to be even bigger. You came by and saw the beginning of it. So we're doing more things in the community. We also host families in the wintertime. We were thinking about doing a coat drive, but instead of forming our own, we just donate to existing coat drives. And one thing that I'm going to start or try to put together this summer is a battle of the bands for Juneteenth. So we just want to stay in the community doing different events all year that lead up to our signature event, which is this upcoming Saturday, our parade and our community event.
Okay, what areas of Portland are you active in? I have a reason for asking that question.
Oh, well, you know, we're actually active all over the city. It's just about getting the information out there.
Okay. The reason I ask that is the church I go to, I'm one of, I think, 3, maybe 4 white people in that church. It's basically a black church, and I've never heard of it.
Okay, that's another thing. We have to get more involved with the churches in the community. Our founder, Miss Clara People, she was a big community figure. We lost her in 2015, and when we lost her, we lost a lot of support. For example, we didn't have to pay for a parade license. When we lost her, we had to pay for a parade license. It was like the city had a very tight relationship with her. In churches also, they knew her. But once she passed, a lot of things passed with her. But we're working hard to keep this going. And I'm the media relations director for Juneteenth Oregon. And really, it's my job to get out there and to reach churches like you just said.
The particular church I go to is very small, but they're part of a very, very larger organization here in the city. And actually nationwide, it started out in Tennessee. Solid Rock over here in North Portland.
Greater Solid Rock.
Greater Solid Rock.
I know them, the Archie, what is their last name?
I'm new to the church. I've just been going there for a few months. My
Okay.
son started going there with a friend of his from high school, and I started going there.
Yeah, I'm familiar with that church.
We're down we're New Hope down on Lombard. Right next to the Dairy Queen on Lombard, kind of kitty corner across from Fred Meyer's and McDonald's. I
Okay.
can't remember.
So they started like a little satellite.
Yeah, it's a small church. It's been around for 10 or 15 years.
Okay.
But it's a small church, and a lot of older people, they need to reach out to us. Get some more young people in there, it's gonna die, but as the older folks in there die, it's, you need young folks coming up, like yourself in your organization. If you don't have some young folks coming up in the organization,
It'll die out.
it's gonna die.
Like our founder.
Yes, and you lost some stuff when your founder
That's
passed.
right.
Institutional knowledge.
Yeah, institutional knowledge, favors from the
Right,
city,
yeah.
lots of
Knowledge,
things, yeah.
And thank you for sharing all of this, because I got a lot more
And how can we make this work?
We are always asking for any financial support that you all can give us, any physical, hands-on, volunteer support. At our events, we put up tents, we take down tents, we just have people walking around as volunteers, just kind of like keeping the grounds clean. We have shirts for all of our volunteers, yellow shirts that we're gonna direct the crowd to these people for help. So we need physical help. If you all had wanted to be in our parade, you could march in our parade. So any financial, physical help that you all can give to us, and every single dollar is tax deductible. We are 501c3 public charity.
Okay, I've been in contact the last few days with Brad, and so I would like to make a motion to the board, if it's appropriate this time, that we make it a $300 donation to June Fest.
I second that.
Thank
All in favor?
Aye.
And I have a check already.
Oh,
Yeah,
awesome. Thank you. Thank you. And
Check it and see.
yes, $300. Thank you, and we will be following up with your I-9. I think that's the form that you get. Or there's some form that we give
I'll send
everyone.
backwards now. And
Yeah.
If we can email address to send that to.
Okay.
Funding district.
Yep. Thank you very much. And as you stated, I do need to, I'm the media relations director, so I have a full-time job. I'm on call right now, as a matter of fact. And I do need to somehow like make time to get out to different churches and, you know, find out, get on their board, not their board, but you know how churches have announcements, to get on their announcement some type of way.
This, and I'll make sure it gets to church on Sunday.
Yeah.
Actually, come on.
Good, because our event is Saturday.
Yeah, come on. Matter of fact, we have Bible study tomorrow night.
Great, please take some flyers,
Yeah.
because our event is Saturday, which
Yeah.
will be a day before Sunday.
Yeah.
And I should have been like doing, like, I'm gonna try to make a commitment to my own self to do exactly that, get out and visit more clergy and just make the community more aware, because this gentleman over here, I was chatting with him, he's from Memphis, and he heard of Juneteenth in Memphis, but he was like, I didn't know there was a Juneteenth Oregon. So, you know, there's a lot of knowledge and information that needs to spread out, just like you getting people to come out to your meetings. Like, how do you reach people? How do you get people interested?
Because I've been plugging back and forth. No.
Yeah, and that's what has happened.
But I don't remember how I heard that.
That's interesting.
I like to find quirky
Well, we're very
The
happy.
underdog, it's not quirky, I mean, it's just, you know, it's not as well known.
Yeah,
So I mean,
yeah,
I'm gonna try to explore. They're usually some of the best.
Yeah. All right, thank you so much for your time, and, you know, this was like last year, I mean, kind of last moment, and maybe next year, when your board gets bigger and your members, you guys might want to come in our parade or what have you, you know, get more involved with us.
Oh,
Oh, yeah, yeah. Thank you.
If I just gonna follow the finance. Service, yes. There were finances next.
I love your design.
Thank you.
So I'll be looking for you Saturday. Yeah. Are you shy? If I called you up, would you say hello to the crowd? Are you shy?
I mean, I would, if you called me up, I would respond. But
Okay.
it would be a nightmare.
Because I'm the MC.
I
might call you,
David.
David.
Dangerous to know.
It's my be looking out for you,
Thank you.
David. We really appreciate this. Thank you
Yeah,
very
leave
much.
some flyers.
Yeah,
I'll
there's
make-
flyers there, so
make sure
please
that we get
share.
them out to the church.
And any of you, if you can, please share some flyers. Thank you so much.
Alright, so, yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Discuss.
Quick. Okay. So the finances is the next on the agenda.
Yeah, so right
Brad
now,
forwarded those to us.
we have ending balance of $6,012. Let's see, this past month, we spent 762 in checks. 297 of that was to ASAP signs. 465 of it is to Mike.
T-shirts.
The t-shirts? Okay. So that was that. Let's see, we also paid for Google, lost ATM card, paper statement fee. Yeah, there's some questions.
You know, that ATM card must have been lost in the mail because it was supposed to have been mailed down to Southeast Iowa. That's from my understanding was, and it never showed up down there. Or to my house, or to Brad's house. It should have come to one of those three places.
The best thing was it just wasn't used.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, intentions. So on the letter in support of rural development, you all read it?
Yep.
Yeah. Good. I don't see that we have to print out every year. I was looking for it during the
But
meeting.
that was,
And I don't think it's something that we have, but we know it's to show our support for the changing the door.
yeah.
And include a lot of the notes that we all had during the meeting where it was in the spirit of the safety, paddling, safer. It was in the spirit of that,
See,
as
I
well
was-
as driving pedestrian traffic. which
I
is part of the
misunderstood. What the deal is, I thought that they didn't realize that the door that they're wanting is a door that leads to a hallway that goes to the bar. That doorway has nothing to do with that business that's not rented out yet.
that little head space.
Yeah, it has a street side egress door on it. The one they're wanting to eliminate is the door that opens to a hallway that goes down to and that seems even more ridiculous to me, to have a door to a hallway to go down to the bar rather than, I don't see the necessity for it. And it would give them an extra 6 feet and, or whatever, 3 or 4 feet, which is a large amount of square footage. When you take a motorhome and you put an 18-inch slide out in it, and it's amazing how much more, it almost doubles your space in the living quarters. So, a space that's 4 foot by 12 foot is, what, 400 square feet or something like that. That's a lot of additional space.
I'd like to make a motion that we support the letter as amended.
I'm a second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Next one's personal.
Um,
So I don't know if I should be making a motion on it. It's just, we currently have no representation on the school board.
Oh, I'll make that motion.
Seconded.
All in favor?
Aye. You can word it however it needs to be
I'll see you
worded.
once a month. Okay,
I'll
maybe
go
twice.
every board meeting.
Oh, you're not good at the board meeting?
Thank you.
That was rare. Okay, and so for the next agenda item is the membership eligibility exception, which we've sat on for a couple of months at least. And this can be a draft, and we can defer the vote if you guys have any serious concerns about it.
I was talking to Brad this evening when he brought this stuff over, and I would like to see us put this off till all 4 of us are here.
Yeah, and I
Get a more
would like it to be open to the members as well.
Yeah.
So this stems
We can
from
we can make some more copies of it. Matter of fact, we've got a couple extra copies here right now that if anybody wanted a copy of it.
yeah.
So and just to give you the background on this, so anyone who wants to participate in the neighborhood association, but doesn't live in the neighborhood, doesn't meet the membership eligibility requirements, which is basically you live in the neighborhood, you show up to a meeting and sign in, and opt in to be a member. For people who live outside of the neighborhood, they can request an exception to that requirement. And we've had, I don't know if you know the history of the MNA, but we've had a lot of discord. And one of the things that we realized we didn't have was a policy around when we, and some of these were not our neighborhoods, right? We lived within the Montebello neighborhood. And not having this policy in place made us vulnerable to potentially letting people who aren't driving like unity and cohesion and diversity in the neighborhood. Generally with the spirit of kindness. Again, this kind of my tack that we needed to be very clear, and we got a number of feedback from that which disinfluenced. Right? So there were very specific phrasing around that, which may not read right, which is why I want to put it up to people like, hey, maybe we can soften this up a bit, use a few different phrasings, things like that, but be in the same spirit. Just be a nice person and, come on in. Because you can.
The other eligibility for membership is to have be operating a business, have a commercial interest in the Montebello area, be a resident or have a commercial interest
within the Montebello boundary. Right. So it's not that strange. And one of the things that's also outlined probably I think in the first paragraph is that there's so much you can do without being a member with us. We'll work with you. Like Lewis isn't a member. Can you keep showing?
I get paid to do that.
we might even let you in. So we've had a positive relationship. So yeah. So and that's why this policy is one of those things where we found a hole and not defining what this process is, and then it put us at some risk where something like that. People are driving Discord.
Without having a
to say,
policy in force, you might do an exception here to a person, and then this person over here, well, we don't want them in the association for whatever reason, different reasons. But it makes it unified. The same standard applies to this person, to this person, to this person. And so you have a standardization of policy, and that was something we didn't have, we don't have, and it's something we're trying to develop and establish, so that we have a policy that we can go by and say, okay, this is the standard. This is what you have to do to become a member from outside.
And as the board composition rotates out, right? We lose that institutional knowledge of these interactions with some people, right? And that's why one of the things is like we take a month, basically, to a minimum of 28 days to the next meeting. I was trying to consider a leak here and that, and just to make that to have a board vote on those requests, so that we get feedback from the neighbors, feedback from school, from the neighborhood coalition, to make sure that we're not doing something that we should know better.
Should we put that on the website as well then?
Yeah.
Next meeting.
So yeah, I'll take any feedback is more than welcome, as well as we have feedback. It's updated. It's a draft. So it's a draft that's been read by previous board members. By Sewell was in the neighborhood coalition. We were both involved, as well as disinterested friends. So we're just like, what is this crap? I don't know. Just to get their feedback. Okay, so we'll defer the vote if you guys have any other feedback. Yeah, I spoke with Brad too, and it was really minor stuff that I'm looking to.
He had I think it was more his issues were more with wording.
Yeah, exactly. That would have been an adjustment. So, and we can see the feedback we get too.
I can just anything specific, but you kind of mentioned softening. That kind of resonated with me after reading it. But
resident
I'm
and
not
like,
specific,
yes, resident like,
but
yes,
like
do that.
description.
So, because I was being, I used to be a technical writer, so it was very like, this is what I mean and this is what I say.
Yeah, which is good,
Versus like,
because it's very clear.
like saying, hello, say, hey, how are you? So nice to see you. Hope that's your card. Okay, thank you. Okay, so we'll table that for next one. I just wanted to get it on because we sat on it for a couple
Yeah,
of
it's
months.
just been.
And I had actually written it a while ago and just wanted to sit on it and revisited it. I lightened it up a little bit already. Obviously, so, okay. What's next?
July meeting. So, I don't know if you guys have seen yet, but the 27th of this month is the Southeast Uplift member, the board member training.
What's that?
Yeah, you guys so we can maybe provide a brief recap.
Are you gonna do it?
Yeah, I'll go just for dinner.
Yeah.
Great. I just emailed it out to all 4 board members. There's an RSVP link if you click on the link in that email. Please RSVP. And then anyone else in the community, if you are interested in being on the neighborhood association board, but you haven't officially joined the board yet, you can still come to this training. Let me know, I can send you the info, and it'll just help clarify the roles of the board, the neighborhood association board member. We'll give some history on this neighborhood system and how it was created and why, and then just share some tips for success. June 27th, from 6 to 9 p.m.
You should all come. Everyone. Come board members. And one thing that I have put some feelers out for interest on, I understand it's a Facebook community group, was to do have an MNA sponsor Pride. That was the 50th anniversary of Stonewall. So I just want to put it on for and it seems to at least have 5 volunteers to help coordinate and get the next put together. As well as a bunch of interest from the community involved. So I wanted to see if you had any interest as far as if you don't have any block parties yet. Books. Pride season is really all summer long. It's June, but as long as it's just a party, you want a little show on. And I think it's personal to me, but I would like to use that. Lots of fun. Diversity that needs to happen in the neighborhood association that needs to be both on board and I'd like to
So what are we going to do during the general meeting?
Oh, well, this would be for the board meeting.
Okay.
As far as, maybe by that time I would have, you can also talk about it in the Q&A, maybe a fun Q&A if people have ideas for locations, things like that.
Okay.
But also to have, maybe go ahead and submit a permit, set a date, get some geographical areas that you might want to host it. So it's going to show you what I want. I think maybe 3rd November, so.
Sure.
Is that your house?
Yeah.
It's going to turn into a truck. You're a big fool.
It's street is fine. So it's good for us. Yeah.
I'm sure that we'll find something. Yeah, just put it on there. So, and I did put feelers in, but like, you don't have to be on the ground. There's no point. It's not something that I can do alone. That requires a lot of an outreach for it. It's not true.
It's going to be immediately, or the next meeting is also going to be immediately before the street fair.
Yeah. I don't know. Do we have anything that we're doing for? We have a booth, but are we doing anything interesting with the booth?
Yeah.
For our part?
Yeah.
Selling swag.
And that would be a good time.
Yard signs.
That would be a good time to promote it.
Yeah.
Any ideas for the general meeting?
Well, the co-working space.
Oh, does he want to
If you guys
present?
are interested in representing,
Okay, that would be cool.
and I would actually be interested in also become housers. Like I really like all the ideas that Ben was representing in this design. Like this, smaller footprint for the business, because it's smaller, dollar, month over month, which is why I was interested in finding how they survive. What is it on that?
And the building that's a separate project that's behind it that's gonna have the
Co-housing.
co-housing. My thought, most of those people are gonna be people probably that would otherwise be unhoused, which would not typically have a vehicle of any type unless it's a bicycle or a grocery cart that they've helped themselves to from Home Depot or somebody.
Well, didn't you say that there was a similar project that's already in place?
There's two
Yeah.
others on there.
So they've already got one going. It's
Maybe we should reach out, if it's the same group, maybe we should reach out to them to find out more.
yeah, totally. I
I
read
was thinking
it.
more millennials, or just people trying to get ahead, where you're just trying to get your
Yeah,
foot in a starter.
I'm saying it's more gonna be people that typically would be unhoused if it weren't for that facility. So there's
That's
10 people.
definitely part of their consideration. I think making it like
There's that big project that's going in on the corner of 122nd and Burnside, I believe it is.
The black hole.
Yeah, it's for low income and that type. And it's going to be, they won't have the facilities there that they do out there at 122nd, but it will be for that. My understanding, my feeling is, and I don't know what they're aiming at, like my feeling would be that type of a housing situation would be more.
Let's invite them to come.
Well, there are probably people that just want cheap rent.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Let's not make
People with cheap rent.
sweeping generalizations.
Yeah, I was thinking more people starting out and moving to Portland.
A combination.
College or high school. Yeah, it sounds like it.
Would be similar to when I was
I think
going
it
to
was a
school.
basement house.
That there were three of us rented a kind of a basement apartment.
We had like 8 people living in a 2-bedroom house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had a coach with me.
Yeah.
So any other ideas for organizations we should reach out to?
Sorry, again, I'm interrupting your board meeting, but a couple months ago I did send an email connecting with people, I think it might have been to Brad, connecting them to Lowe's Workers' Rights. Most folks I think may already be aware, they run the Day Laborer Center, and they do resources for houseless folks as well. But they have been wanting to go around to neighborhood associations and present, because y'all can hire the day laborers. I think they're like $15 an hour. And they do everything from like construction projects, gardening, if you need help moving. It provides employment opportunities for those that are marginalized and often are living on the streets.
You send that to the MNA, I think.
I think I sent it to Brad, but I will resend that email.
I think I saw that. I think
Yeah.
it came out. I think it was to all of us.
It might have been.
remember seeing something.
I think it might have been before David was there, but I might have sent it to the other 3 board members.
Yeah.
But I can resend it.
Sounds good too. I'll do it. Good on it.
Sounds good.
That's it.
What's up, 6 items?
Is there anything else that we need to address from today's meeting?
So we got this in the mail. Montebello Jazz Fest is looking for sponsorship. Their pricing starts at $250 for sponsorship. They don't put a due date on it, that I can see.
Is this something that you need to, that we need to do for this meeting, or can we do it?
Well, I don't.
I mean, I have
see
no
it.
problem with being a sponsor at that level.
Yeah, neither do I. Just you worry a little bit about just spending too much in a single meeting. Space out our donations.
Because we have to get money from you.
Uh,
You just want to vote through it all at
Let's
once.
see, there's $10 there that came from something.
See?
Oh yeah, that's from
See, we
Rob.
only need to.
We sold a T-shirt. Yeah, what do we call? It's like point of process. What do we do with money for T-shirts?
Goes into the bank. Yeah. So, and I will, like, I've been keeping, that's the first one you can see.
Okay.
So, all the rest of it.
And so we need to note that came in for T-shirts, so that
And it's really how we spend that money. We were hoping they would sub-seed, but they may not, because we have so much appreciation within that.
Sure.
You know, so maybe people coming into the meeting for long-term support as well as some of our great volunteers who've been with us for years.
I think we're gonna have time on this because the next meeting will be, it'll still be a full month before we go.
when is this going to be in August?
And I would know the process for adding it to this agenda. That's the agenda's already been approved. If you're saying something to add to
Today
Oh,
is the
today's
agenda.
yeah, I don't know the process.
That came. Cool. Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Aye.
Great, thanks everyone.